So both players are ready.
Let's go ahead and get them counted down in 3, 2, 1, Tetris.
So as you said, Sharky, Dog with the amazing qualifier, just really unable to be matched by anyone else. But qualifiers aren't everything.
No. Well, qualifiers aren't everything, but they might be something, because actually if you look at the seeds of who is in our semis, all of it is our top 4 seeds. Dog was seed 1, Andy seed 4, Alex T was seed 2, Dengler was seed 3.
You got a point there. And we saw from yesterday, the finalists were seeds 1 and 2, with seed 1 eventually winning.
So that is something that we'll have to see. But of course, this is now tournament regulation. We are playing matches. Now it's no longer the highest score that you're aiming for. You're just aiming to outscore your opponent. And already we are kicking off with a contribution from K9. $222 being added to the prize pool, bringing us up to $1864.
Thank you so much, K9.
Saying, go Artiagas, go. But to start off here is going to be Andy with the advantage, just under 2 Tetrises here.
Yeah, and Andy using the 4th playstyle, knuckling, as he's had an injury a while back, but managed to be solving it with a creative way to get back into the top scene.
Yeah, it is an open playstyle tournament, so all playstyles, rolling, dash, hyper tapping, knuckling, which according to Red Bull is an official playstyle. So, and Andy is the founder of that playstyle, which, you know, it's pretty cool. It's officially in a book and everything. But 191 for Andy, 167 for Dog, and Andy's off to a slightly better start here with a 1 Tetris advantage.
So something I noticed is playing a lot safer than they did in the qualifiers. There's a lot more weight in each game, and because of that, the pace maybe not as high, but like you said, it's not for the highest score. It's opponent versus opponent.
Andy now running into a little bit of a slowdown, having to take a couple of burns, and despite Dog being a little bit ahead in the line count, oh, nice T-spin double over there for Andy. We have another contribution, $15.33, saying, I bet Mr. Artiaga is going to win. Great games tonight. Thanks to everyone at CTWC. Love you. And we love you too. And things I also love is Tetris is being scored. There was one for Dog, 311, and now 269 out of Tetris goes up to 292. So things took a little bit of a 180. The pendulum has swung in Dog's favor here on 18.
And just crossing the halfway mark here. We can hear the crowds of the other fighting games. The atmosphere here is amazing. And this is such a close game currently.
Yeah, now separated by around a 1.5. And a little bit of a tricky situation over here for Andy. Not going to be able to utilize that eyepiece.
Can't use that one either.
He's taking the burns. There it is. Well as open Tetris for Andy.
But what was a close score difference? Now Dog pulling ahead.
And of course, with the scores like this, it might be a little bit tougher on Andy's side, but 600K transition is definitely doable for Dog here.
So Dog with the Tetris 434. Andy opening up the well at 343.
It's been a very mostly calm level 18 here.
Yeah, just Dog taking it a bit more efficiently in this early half.
There's been, a little bit of hiccups, and really that's only affected Andy, who had the early lead, and just a small little hiccup just allowed Dog to take advantage. But we've seen, especially in our last match between Fractal and Dengler, those small little disadvantages can impact in big ways. Because if Fractal was more efficient on the 18, and I believe on 19 he was keeping up with Dengler, but if he was more efficient on 18, maybe the outcome of that match would have been different.
I was playing for some of that match, but I could just hear the thrill between the match between Fractal and Dengler. I heard there was a 700K transition.
It was almost a 1.4 into 29.
That's almost unheard of in
competitive play.
In competitive play in person.
And speaking of competitive play, things are going to get competitive fast as we are going to be increasing the speed once we hit level 19.
Both players just one Tetris away, and Dog with this 1.5 Tetris lead going in. Let's see if he can keep it for the rest of the game.
Andy looking for one more Tetris. Is not going to find it before transition, but finds one immediately into transition. 583 for Andy, 644 for Dog. So did manage to get that 600K.
And Dog some creative solves there with those tucks. And you can see, yeah, Dog's board is just pristine. High left, low right. And Andy, just a little bit of digging to do, but he gets out of it.
I like that pullback, saw what piece was next, and so then decided to have the aggressive right built up because he knew that he would be able to clean the board and kind of regain that equilibrium of a ideal stack. And with the pieces falling the way there is, a Tetris for Andy. 689 to now 750. Make that 776 as Dog continues to pour on the pressure here in the post-transition.
The lead for Dog is growing. Now over a 2 Tetris lead, but has this gap, but fills it. But Andy getting in some trouble. So Dog really pulling ahead here.
Yes, Andy has not really been in a situation where you're seeing kind of just that consistent rhythm. It feels like Andy will score a Tetris, maybe 2, and then get back into the dig. It's not like where Dog has been scoring Tetrises, maybe taking a skim here and there, but the board isn't never in danger.
Right, 868 for Dog, 735 for Andy. I think Andy's getting into that rhythm now, but he's got some work to do.
Yeah, down by over 100,000 points. Dog already 929. I swear we've seen this happen before in his quals. We're seeing a similar pacing. We're at this rate, if he's able to continue this, we're going to get a max out in level 25.
Yeah, with that Tetris just 1 and change away. And this is just game number 1, Sharky.
Yeah, this is game number 1. Heavy pressure being put on Andy right now. Down 160,000 points, but has a really good, I'd say 832 and 25. That's good. That's a chance for you to get a 1.1 reasonably, and then maybe if you're able to play the post-transit or the post 25 well, then maybe you can even turn that into 1.2. But we have gotten our max for Dog, and he is a Tetris and change away from a 1.1 and level 27.
Right, like we said earlier in the quals, when these players are playing such a high level, these, you would say, good games aren't standing out. And man, Andy just 1 away from his max out, but look at Dog already almost reaching a 1.2.
Yeah, one more Tetris will bring us to that 1.2 status here for Dog as Andy with the max now. Another Tetris for Andy, 1,035,000 to now 1.17. Dog waiting patiently. Drought counter is ticking. And there it is, Tetris for Dog, 1.2. Another Tetris for Dog goes in at 1.242. Andy with the Vit setup. Does get the eyepiece, knocks down a Tetris, but that is going to be forced burns here early on and already misdrops in level 29. Will this 29 be short-lived? It's up to Andy to tell us. If so, he does find the triple, finds another single. The board is brought down to a much more comfortable board state.
That Vits had just such a risk, and he did on level 28, and that allowed Dog to, just increase
Dog,
his
hold
lead.
on. In a little bit of danger here. Sets up a delayed burn, needs to reopen up the well. There's a double. Well is now reopened. He has the 1.3. It's going to add a Tetris, goes to 1.352.
Amazing.
And Andy now at the 1.16. Another Tetris for Andy, another Tetris for Dog. And this is a problem when Dog's scoring at the same time you are. In the case you're Andy, that means you're not gaining any ground. If anything, you're just keeping the same level playing, well, uneven playing field in the case of Dog's advantage. But Andy was able to find a Tetris, but Dog finds one right back. 1.4 to 1.28. Good trip over here for Andy. The well is covered, but is currently in a drought. That's going to be a triple. Able to get that over. Nice flat burn. And now Andy forced to do some more burns, but a good double. Still keeping things alive, but Dog is continuing to put on that pressure. We're at 1.54. Earlier in quals, we said it. Dog got 3 1.8s, got a 1.6, and he's just a Tetris and change away, I believe, from that 1.6. But hold on, a slowdown has occurred. He's set up for this dirty Tetris. Nice skim, trying to keep the well open. And there it is, a dirty Tetris.
A rollover.
For Dog. And that's the 1.6. Andy in danger here, is down by 5 Tetrises and doesn't have that much room. He needs Dog to top out now, and he needs to go perfect. There's so many win conditions for Andy here, and it's just looking more and more difficult as Dog continues to pour on the efficiency. There's another Tetris for Dog. We're looking at a 1.7. He's set up. Andy set up now here, row 2. There's a Tetris for Andy, 1.4. Dog is waiting for the eyepiece. One more, and there it is, 1.7 for Dog going into level 39. And he's getting a couple lines here on the super kill screen. Andy can find 2 more Tetrises. Now, no more lines to give in the middle of a drought. There's 1 Tetris. One more can he do? He's set up. He's down by 4 Tetrises unless he wants to get a super kill screen right. It's not going to happen. A 1.5 to a 1.7. Dog takes game number 1. Here we go in 3, 2, 1, Tetris. So once again, these two are brothers, world record holders in both former and current. In case of Andy, I mean, he tied his world record yesterday in quals. Could have broke it, but just was unable to. But the amount of hardware that these two players have in their house, and now at bare minimum, since they both made it to the semis, one of them is walking away with one of the Genesis medals, and they would have to play the 3rd place match to walk away with the other one. So they could win 4 medals over the course of this weekend.
Just such a talented pair of brothers here, and that first game really, I think, set the bar for what we can expect in the later matches and games.
Well, something that is unexpected is a little bit of early turbulence over here for Dog. It's kind of similar to what we saw in game 1. However, what ended up happening later in that game 1 was Andy experienced the turbulence, and Dog was able to capitalize off of it a lot more than Andy was off of his early game, off of Dog's early game turbulence last game.
Yeah, this is not it's not common for Dog, and having to get out of this, the column 2, that's one of the harder wells to access and bring down because the way the pieces are, just it's easy to put more weight as you're trying to burn it down. So we see here a 4 Tetris lead for Andy, almost over 100,000. So this is exactly what Andy was looking for after that game 1 where it's lost by almost 200,000.
And we get 2 quick $100 contributions. One from Cody, say, let's pay the top 8. Great matches, great commentary, great game. And a $100 contribution from great community, great game, my bad. And Alex Ullman with another contribution says, should have been Reed. Well, Reed should have won.
Should have been Reed. Thank you so much, Cody and Alex, for the contributions.
With that, we now have a $2,100 prize pool. So we are officially able to pay out our top 8
in both the DAS and the Open tournaments. So thank you so much.
Now, 298,000 for Andy. Dog has finally gotten the board under control, but is down by 6 to 7 Tetrises. Oh my God. You're down by 6 Tetrises, depending on when Andy's able to get them. Completely unintentional.
So Andy here, waiting out for the, having that J piece dependency, and gets it.
.346 here at 66 lines. This is quite the pace over here from Andy. It's kind of reminiscent of what we saw from Fractal in our earlier game or earlier match.
Right, and I'm noticing Andy doing some triple flips. I'm not sure if that's some new tech, but it is quite interesting to see. And Andy here, another Tetris 415, and Dog 277. So yeah, this over 100K lead has been maintained by Andy, and I don't know if Dog's usually not in this position where he's behind by so much.
No, generally Dog is able to stay pretty reasonably close to his opponent. It was just that opener took Dog so long to gain back control, and Andy took full advantage of it, because normally you have a bad opener, it's like, okay, maybe I might be down a little bit. But in the case of Andy, when you're playing almost perfect for the entire opener and your opponent doesn't, 20 lines, 5 Tetrises, and you play him perfect, that's a 100,000 points right there.
Yeah, exactly. And this is so 500,000 before 100 lines. That's honestly higher than what players go for. Most players go for 100,000 every 20 lines. So Andy here, with these adjustments and triple flips, whatever he's doing, it's working.
That's going to be a split triple over here for Andy. And so far, we are closing in on the level 19 transition. And if you're Andy, this is the position you want to be. Dog just took game 1 off of you. Huge game, 1.7. You're coming into this game, you have a 100,000 point lead. You're up by 6 Tetrises currently. This is what you want, because now that gives you opportunity to tie things up.
Right. And one thing that's interesting is Andy specializes in DAS, meanwhile Dog specializing in roll. And Andy took the one yesterday in our DAS tournament. So will we see the pattern continue? Because both players are great at rolling, and Andy, in this case, knuckling. So just curious about that.
Well, we don't have to be curious too much longer, as we will be heading into the level 19 post transition with the next Tetris. Well, assuming there is an eyepiece. I say that as if an eyepiece is going to come, and it does not. Players are enduring a drought. And finally, both players were able to successfully endure said drought. Dog 548 or 446, Andy 695, still holding on to a well over 100,000 point lead.
That drought into transition was managed quite well, as the speed change can make even a short drought feel a lot more damaging there. So well done by the players.
Yeah, it was a 30-piece drought, and it was happening in one of the most scary positions right before transition, because there was also that hole in Dog's board, and all it takes is for him to make the wrong kind of burn, and now he's operating with a fraction of his full burning capacity because of that hole, preventing him from down stacking properly.
Both players getting a Tetris. Andy having to work around this.
Oh, that is a lot of O's. Both players ending up having to do some burning as a result, but the difference is Dog got out of that incredibly cleanly. Andy is still dealing with the aftermath, and now he's set up for row 2. Dog's closing the gap.
Just showing the true randomness that occurs within this game. These players have to be ready for anything. And you're right, now it's under 100,000 points.
Andy now clean, so is Dog. Tetrises are being scored in tandem. 777 for Dog. Maybe his lucky streak's about to start. However, he's being forced to take some burns, but so is Andy. Both players now clean, getting clean at the same time. That once 5 Tetris lead has shrunk all the way down to just over 2.5.
There we go, 927 for Andy. Dog with that Tetris, 844. And we know from the later levels, because each Tetris is worth so much, it's actually easier to catch up if you're able to just get 1, 2, 3 Tetrises more than your opponent.
And right now, Dog already experiencing some issues. The hold that's been generated in column 2, one of the more annoying columns to get access and to get rid of. Looking for an eyepiece now, was unable to find it. And you can see just this jagged board being a thorn in his side. Still trying to find ways to get active. Now there's a hole in column 10. There's a hole in column 2. Andy's now starting to rebuild that lead as Andy has maxed. And Dog still trying to get access to this column 2 hole. Finally, it is open. Finally gets the eyepiece and is now Tetris ready.
But just that short moment, almost 150,000 lead for Andy now.
We are getting close to that 29. Andy with a left well. There is a natural right well bias in classic Tetris, and so do have to be careful. That's why we always kind of like tense up whenever a 5-tap must be hit, and there it is. Andy goes into 29 with 1.12. Dog goes into 29 with 9.8. A fresh start for Andy with that perfect clear, and the Tetris for Dog. He is now maxed, and Andy with a couple of misdrops mean that Dog has an opportunity to catch up, but he's going to take the triple, reset the board, get into a more comfortable spot, and that's going to allow Andy to maintain his lead.
Andy going aggressive here.
Column 5, and the thing is, he does have the lead, and Dog has not been in a scoring position, and actually both players just kind of wiggling in and out of danger. Now Dog is now back into a position where he can start setting up for Tetrises. Andy now cleaned up as well. I believe that was a Tetris for Dog. He's now at 1.09. Andy at 1.17. Dog Tetris ready, knocks down another Tetris, 1.13, as another 100,000 point threshold has been breached. As Dog gets set up for another Tetris, Andy is still trying to get Tetris ready. Now Dog has hit this 5-tap. That left side is a concern. Can he do it? He's looking for the right pieces. He's holding out for the eyepiece, but there is a drought counting. It's 19. Dog able to get it over. Now Andy in trouble, but Dog knocks out a Tetris, closing the gap back down to under 1. And Andy is still in danger here. Dog is Tetris ready. Andy trying to find a way to survive. There's a Tetris for Dog. He takes the lead, but with those burns, Andy takes it right back. 1.24 to 1.22. And Andy with that misdrop, that might be fatal. That is it. And that with that, Dog takes game number 2 and is now on match point.
Andy was ahead basically the whole game up until this point.
Here we go in 3, 2, 1. Tetris. Oh, the double eyepiece start. And they actually, okay, there it is. No more clone tris.
So that double bar start is actually not a possible opener in the original cartridge, I believe. But with the Tetris Gym, this, what?
Not when you first boot it up.
But it's just something we don't see often. It's so rare.
Well, with that being said, we do start off with a tie. And so far, it's been pretty calm here in the opener. There has been a lot of overhangs being set up by Dog, but in doing so, has been able to maintain the same Tetris rate as Andy. Andy with a split triple, though.
Yeah, I like that result from Andy. And nice water there from Andy. So there's been this trend of naming these piece adjustments, and it's been quite interesting, some of the creative names that these players have come up with.
Dog has been able to have a little bit of a more advantage here in the early goings, as Andy, a couple of awkward pieces there. Would love to get, I believe that is the L piece, in order to tuck underneath or tuck into that center stack, and is not finding it. So having to go for this, and now a hole is going to be generated. So even when this does get open, that's not going to be a Tetris, it's going to be a triple.
That LP is just not coming in time, and Dog going to take an early 2 to 3 Tetris lead. With already a 2-game advantage match point, this is a rough start for Andy.
And at the same time, you know, like we said, Andy had the advantage that entire game up until really whenever Dog started getting clean on the post 29. And hold on, this could get a little bit dangerous. Andy able to just get that eyepiece over. And you could kind of see like his posture elevated. He's like, oh my God, almost ended it with an early top out.
That was a little bit scary, I'm not going to lie, but Andy got out of it. Just head shaking. You can't believe how close he was to just, wow. But this drought.
Yeah, another drought
one
here. And Andy back, you can see him shaking his head. He's like, not again. But 2 Tetris is going to bring the board down, and that's going to allow him to really kind of stay out of that kind of danger zone. So 328 for Dog, 257 for Andy. Dog's just really been able to maintain the advantage.
I believe Andy's just trying to bring this down, to start fresh in columns. Oh, I think something's brewing here.
There is another Tetris for Andy. And Andy needs this game. We saw what happens when Andy falls too far behind going into 29, because the amount of pressure that Dog was able to apply on that 29 speed. I mean, a 1.7 is a terrifying prospect to have to get in comp. I mean, there's going to always be that intimidation factor. Dog being the #1 seed, it's like, okay, how did he get the #1 seed? 3 1.8s, a 1.6, a 1.4, and a 1.3.
Right, just that scoring potential, that caliber. I can definitely see it just cause nerves to some of these players, but these two, I think Andy's the most familiar versus Dog than anyone else. So will nerves get to him? I don't know.
And you are seeing this here, the 5 Tetris difference. That's exactly what Andy had on Dog the last game. And now it's Dog doing it to him in game 3.
Game 3 when Andy having no more room for error, having to win all remaining games to have a shot. Oh.
We are looking at a 600K transition for Dog. All it's going to take is 1 Tetris. He could almost line out and get the 600K transition. So we can see something like a 650, depending on the timing of the bars. After all, there is 4 Tetrises available. Now 3.
Dog just has been showing just how well he can pace in these games. 648, but still having up to 2 Tetrises available.
And able to throws those pieces all the way over. Arguably the best move for the stack. Oh my gosh! Able to get that over and might not be able to get a, because he was on track for a 690, because guess what? We're running into a drought. But still gets a 675, and Andy gets a 543. Able to knock down a Tetris, but now the board needs to be cleaned up. And the bad thing about that for Andy is Dog has a clean board. He has a 130, now a 150,000 point advantage, and Andy is not going to be put in any clean scoring position soon. If he's wanting to try and regain some efficiency, he's going to have to try and set up dirty.
The contrast between the two player situations are striking. Andy behind, just dealing with a lot of cleanup. But
you can see the look every time. There's a hesitation those past 2 times. He was like, do I go for this or do I not? Because he knows that if he does go for it, there is the risk that he does help out on 19. But then at the same time, if he doesn't go for it, Dog's going to extend the lead, which he has successfully done by 2 more Tetrises. He is up by 190,000 at that point.
There you go, 193K lead for Dog. And I think just you can see Dog's confidence as he's been winning these past 2 games. Andy.
Ooh, good plays over here. I'm liking the way that both of these players are stacking this level 22. And Andy also able to utilize both of those long bars just like Dog was. Just the pristine stacking from both. Andy, nice adjustment. That's going to allow a conversion of a Tetris. So Andy is doing the right things. Now he is matching Dog's efficiency. But that is the problem. He needs to exceed Dog's efficiency. And you can't do that unless Dog starts making mistakes, which he has not been making many here in the post-transition.
We haven't seen much trouble from Dog. I mean, he's so confident right now with these adjustments and the rate at which he's been playing. Not much trouble on his board, I don't think at all.
And there it is, max out for Dog in the level 25. And another Tetris for Dog. And another Tetris for Dog. And another Tetris for Dog. Just all these Tetrises being rained down. Now he's at 1.1. Now it's Andy's turn. There's a Tetris for Andy. And there's another Tetris for Andy. And not able to utilize all the eyepieces that Dog was able to, and decided to go for a conservative placement. There's now, that Tetris now 919. But as you can see, there were a couple long bars that Andy was unable to utilize, and Dog, the aggression pays off. Now there is a long bar dependency, fills it in, and follows it up with a Tetris. 1.2 for Dog now, here on level 27. Finds the adjustment, and is Tetris ready again.
Dog is on fire right now. 1.2, mid 27.
There's another Tetris. Andy is maxed, but is now down by 100 or 260,000 points with a max in level 27 as Dog is getting ready for another one. There's another Tetris for Dog, 1.3, and we're not even on 29 speeds yet.
What a statement from Dog right now. One line away, has one more Tetris available.
And he finds it. There it is. Dog goes into 29, 1.354 million. Andy has one Tetris available. Waiting on it, takes the triple, respectable. Holding out for the eyepiece, finds it, and he goes in with a 1.1. Down 250,000 points at 29, but Dog went 2 fatal hangs! Okay, now there is an opportunity. Andy has to complete a chase down. He needs 1,374,000. And it can't be done by lining out. He needs Tetrises right now. He's around 6 Tetrises away from that mark. There it is, there's one Tetris.
That just happened so suddenly, and Andy now given this opportunity to come back and get this momentum swing.
Now, small little hang, couple misdrops, able to get that 5-tap, crucial. Now Andy might try and opt to just reset, because that is, very quick succession of some misdrops. And he's gonna bring the stack down. He needs this game to stay alive here in the tournament. And wow, O burst at possibly the wrong time, and would love some O's right now. Finds one, fills in that gap, but now this whole, okay, he does find access to it. Takes a double, followed up with a single, trying to get access now to this hole in column 4. He's not getting the pieces for it. Makes a couple of adaptations, hangs the O piece, but is able to bring it down with a triple. Very stressful chase down right here for Andy, but great burns, a triple followed by a single after hitting a 5-top, but another misdrop in the center. He cannot continue to string these misdrops as we get closer and closer to time being ran out, but he does only need 3 Tetrises. He has time, but these misdrops are using up that time. 1.253 million for Andy right now. And another misdrop. And another misdrop, and that's gonna be it. Andy's tops out. Dog advances to the finals.